Asshole Podcast, opinions like assholes. Everyone got one. So I welcome you. I invite you to hear mine. Monday, January 16th, 2023. Martin Luther King Jr. birthday was yesterday. We observe it every Thursday of the month of January. Every third Monday of the month of January, they say. So here we are at the end of the day. We'll jump into it. I'm going to try to connect some of the humanitarian of what's MLK all about into this episode. But first, I'm going to start with something that happened this past Friday the 13th. This past Friday the 13th, I got an alert on my phone, a text message from my son's school saying that there was a shelter in place and they were being placed on lockdown. There was a potential gun on campus or a gun on the ground of his high school. As a parent, that's something that you don't want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Something that you don't want to hear, you don't want to see. In this day and time, in this climate, we've seen far too many school shootings and everything of that nature. I'm not necessarily saying that I thought it was a school shooting or anything like that initially, because given the community which I live in, which is actually a good community, the whole county in itself is Montgomery County, Maryland. And, it's up there when we're talking about education, when we're talking about income, when we're talking about household income, education, we're talking about a diversity. It's a great community, great county. Like I said, it's up there. At one point in time, it was in the top 5 counties in the country. I think we'd have slipped out of there now, but we still do well out these parts. But like I also have explained to many people, throughout my life, because me being an individual who have encountered these hidden corrosions, as I call them, of Montgomery County, Maryland. And they are hidden corrosions. And if you know, that these youngins out here, they be wilding, We deal with shootings, we deal with murders, school, we done had recent school shootings. We done had recent murders of school students, high school students. So it's not out of the ordinary. We're no strangers to violence and gunplay and different things of that nature, even in the county where overall the crime rate isn't that high. But like I said, there are hidden corrosions, and there is quite a problem that we're dealing with in this county when we come into the intervention of our youth. Like straight up, when I initially got the call, I'm gone. I'm out of here. You understand me? I don't even got no clothes on. You know what I'm saying? But I put my pants on, grab a shirt, no underwears. You dig? I couldn't even find my underwear. It was washing clothes. Didn't have time to let that settle. Pull some pants up, throw a t-shirt on, throw my hoodie on, and I'm gone. I'm out the door. You know what I'm saying? Because if I gotta play superhero nigga dad, I'm gonna play superhero Negro dad. You dig? But I ain't playing about mine. If I gotta go in there, I gotta go in there, because I give mine and take a life for mine. So it's not something I want to do, not something I wanted to hear, but I'm there. Even against the suggestions I would suggest that the school said not to come to the parents, that the police was on the premise and they had everything under control. I'm like, fuck that, you hear me? I'm coming. But anyway, long story short, I get there. Like I said, the scene is pretty chill. We have a whole line of cars, of parents that's there. About 20 or so minutes from the time I get there, which is about, I don't know, I'm going to say about 1:30, because at about 2 o'clock, they sent out another message saying that they were still in the shelter in lockdown. They were still in lockdown. They were still in shelter in place. There still was a lockdown on the school, but they was going to dismiss at regular time with the president of the police. My son texted me and said that they were being told that there was no credible threat. So basically everything was okay. But, I'm telling him, let's go. It still don't sit right with me. Let's go. He's telling, not me, but he's telling his mother. Well, he's telling me, but he's telling his mother, he just see you in 15 minutes, which is at 15 minutes at this point was dismissal time. But anyway, so he wanted to stay. I didn't want him to stay. He stayed. Thankfully, nothing happened. But, this is still ongoing, as far as I'm concerned. It's something of a nature that other students from a different school came to my son's high school and had an altercation. They beat up a kid that went to that school, and I think that child in return went and said he was getting a gun or got a gun or however it went. But so it's still, I would say, not resolved. It's still not resolved. And that leads me to my next point of topic, which is was asked, well, not me personally, but the question was raised from a mother. A question was raised from a mother who was seeking help or what to do about her children who she was having trouble with attending high school. And, she was saying that they was smoking and drinking and they wasn't attending high school, and she wanted, the community, she wanted some advice of what potentially to do to help her children because she didn't want to go to the law and get them involved quite yet, which I'm glad, because as Black people, not trying to be funny, because we shouldn't be shied away from the law. But, man, it's sad, but, that's kind of like last resort. That's some shit that we really don't do, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I really didn't look into it. It was posted on Facebook, and I really didn't look too much into all the comments because it was 100-some comments. But I did see a comment that said that we need more mentorships or more programs to help our youth. And one mother, the mother was saying basically that may be all true, fine, and dandy, but if men are not being involved in these programs, then what good was it going to be? And she was basically saying that the men present was missing in our community, the Black community. Me personally, I think the man present is missing, period, and throughout. And that was a good place for me, to see, because personally, quite frankly, I think women push men away in this day and time. I think there are plenty of stand-up men who are out here who are advocating to do the right thing, who are mentoring children, who are trying to be in their children's lives, and who are trying to show, that child the right way. And I think a lot of these women and a lot of mothers this day and time, they feel like, especially the blacks, we feel like we're in competition with each other or some shit. Like the black man is the black women competition or something, and if we can't be in a position where we can tell them what to do, and telling them what to do is making more than them and having higher education or whatever have you. You understand what I'm saying? But I personally, honest to God, feel like that men are being pushed away out of the community, and it's funny and fascinating to me at the same time that on one hand, women know that they need men in the community, in these children's lives, but on the other hand, take men through so much shit just to be there. You know what I'm saying? And as a man, it's tiring. It's tiring as fuck as a man who has always been a stand-up guy, who have always been an advocate of his community, has always been an advocate of his people, who have always been, someone who have uplifted his community, someone who has done tremendous things within the community and for the community throughout my entire life. And even with my own son, I'm dealing with and dealt with being pushed away as a father who is trying to do for his child. my son's mother and I are no longer together. We were married at one point in time for 5 years. We were together for even longer, for twice that amount, I would say, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, we get to a point where women just really feel like, especially like strong men, like it's like I'm not a docile man, and I'm not a man who just lead with money. You understand what I'm saying? And these are the type of men that women of today really gravitate towards. You either got to lead with money or you got to be docile in order for them to, I didn't want to say respect you, but just to deal with you or want to tolerate you. And it's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible state that we're in. But I do agree that we need more male camaraderie. We need more men and boy, interaction. We need more of these mentorships. We need more guidance for our youth, not just the young boys, for the young girls, the ladies as well, the young women, the ladies as well. But I really feel that black men especially, or strong men overall, are being pushed away, silenced, ridiculed, and just ignored. And it's a very sad state that we're in. And so I guess this is, in a sense, my plea to women. Use your, I would say, better judgment, but get off that fuck shit. Like, for real, get off that fuck shit, man. Like, get off that fuck shit. Because I know a lot of folks ain't gonna like, what I got to say, but it's the truth. It's the truth. You know what I'm saying? This day and time, we have far too many women that are trying to be men. And the fact of the matter is, most men can do anything women can do, but most women can't do anything men can do. So it's just a confliction in thought process to begin with. Like that whole mentality of being in competition with man, that battle of the sexes shit is weak, man. It's weak. There is a dominant sex. It ain't no debate of which gender that is, or have always been. But now we find ourselves in a point in time where, where women want to be the king. They want to be the woman king, If you watch my first episode from season 2, then you would have a lot of fucking insight, and you would have a lot of fucking knowledge and truth of this topic still, of what I'm talking about. And it feels like I'm always going to be talking about, because it's something that I believe very deeply in. I believe very deeply in that women are very broad, very bold, I'm going to say, burdens to men in this day and time, because they don't care about nobody but they self. Seriously, they don't care about their children half the time. They care about their self. They care about their image and what it looks like. That's why you see a lot of these women sometimes pretending, but their actions and their behavior show that they really don't give a fuck about nobody but themselves. And it's sad, but it's the truth. And it's a driven force. It is most definitely done on purpose. Like I said, nothing is done by default. Everything is done by design. And man, it's sad. It's sad. I wanted to touch on other things, but I'm gonna let that shit resonate right where it is, man. Like, seriously, I'm working on a panel discussion. And, if you have any comments, any insight, feel free. Like I said, asshole podcast, opinion like assholes. Everyone got one. So I thank you for hearing mine. Deuces.